Well, that's how to piss away a game. 101 full display there at Rogers Place from the Edmonton Oilers. 2 points well in hand. Nope, not tonight. Sorry. See you later. The New York Rangers defeat the Oil 4-3 in overtime. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Gazzola inside the EST Satellite Studios in downtown Edmonton. You got Ben Thomson back at EST Global HQ. Matty Kassian will be joining us shortly to help break this thing down. And then Reid Wilkins will stop by for Reid's Read after he finishes up in the Oilers locker room, as well as the coach's press conference. Get into the inbox 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. I saw a lot of chats coming in on the YouTube side of things. Hit that thumbs up button, even though the Oilers pissed away an extra point. And, they should have had 2 points. They shouldn't have allowed this thing to get to overtime. They had great opportunities in overtime at the end of the game. They had multiple power plays, couldn't take advantage. So much to decipher on this night. And away we go. GCL Diesel, of course, the providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Benny, I kind of sighed there. I don't know if it was like, am I going to yell and get upset, or I'm going to be like, I'm just really disappointed, or I'm going to just be very objective and stoic. But you build up a 3-1 lead. You take over the game in the second period, a multi-goal lead against a New York Rangers team that, as Steve Wino was talking about, didn't really have an identity. He told us that on the pregame show. He's been covering them all season. You heard Cass on Game Changers on the pregame show say, they're Jekyll and Hyde. They're Jekyll and Hyde. Well, you had the game in hand.
You had it.
And you gave it to the Rangers, right? Like, you get your point. Okay, we shouldn't even be talking about Edmonton salvaging a point.
This should have been, I don't want to say a runaway, but like they had the game in full control heading into the third period.
Yeah.
I didn't think their first period was that bad. I thought like both teams traded chances. The Oilers defense was leaky, but I thought the Oilers answered back with solid offensive chances as well. Second period, I thought the Oilers were a better team. That third period, it all starts with that power play start off the third period. It all
awful
starts
power play.
It was honestly maybe one of the worst power plays I've seen that top unit have in years. I think the Rangers had 3 grade A chances on that power play, while the Oilers couldn't even break into the Rangers zone. Like it was literally one of the most embarrassing power plays I've ever watched. I jotted that down. I'm like, if this game turns around, it's because of that power play. Sure enough, the Rangers took that momentum and ran with it for the rest of that period. You know, the power play has a chance to save you. Late in that third period and in early overtime, they failed to do that too. I mean, obviously there's some guys that you could pinpoint that did not look great tonight, but it was just like such a like you said, gave it away, put it on a silver platter. Here you go, New York. We're here, you're struggling this year. 2 points on us tonight. Like, just brutal.
Okay, so you heard Benny talking about a couple of guys. I'm gonna start with the first Rangers goal. Why are you attempting an 85-foot pass along the blue line? Why are you doing that? Just
I don't even think he.
Why are you doing that?
I think
it wasn't a hard pass. It was a bad pass. It leads to an opportunity and eventually a goal. And then listen, I didn't love the goals that were scored on Stu Skinner. I'm not gonna defend him vehemently tonight. Yeah. I'm just going to say, why are you making a very soft chip at the blue line? It's getting knocked down, coming back the other way, and you're defending softly. I'm sorry, guys, but what Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard combined to do
in overtime
on the winning goal,
oh my God,
was putrid defense.
God.
All right, Leon looked like he was sweeping at the Briar, and then Bouchard looked like he was coming out of the hack at the Briar. I don't even think I've got my curling terms right, but basically they were watching JT Miller go in there, do whatever he wants, and score on Stu Skinner. Like, that was absolutely pathetic. And like Benny mentioned, you have a power play to start the third period to really put this game on ice. Lackadaisical power play, dusting the puck off, looking for the perfect pass. Nope. doesn't work. You get a power play at the end of the third period. I don't know what Mika Zibanejad was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was trying to lift Jack Roslovic's stick. I don't know why it wasn't a 4-minute. There was blood drawn. You saw TD Force working on Roslovic. As far as I know, that's a 4-minute.
Yeah.
Now, the way the Oilers power play was going, I don't know if it would have mattered. If they would have scored, maybe it would have, like, who knows? Mm-hmm. But the fact that they don't do anything on the power play in overtime and then just let JT Miller walk in uncontested, essentially like a partial breakaway, and he just goes a little dipsy, a little duel, tucks it past Stu Skinner. It's like, well, you deserve to lose that game.
Yeah.
When you play it like that, when you're soft on your passes out of your own zone, you're giving up opportunities left, right, and center. You're defending so poorly. That's what you're going to get. Like New York they still want to win games, you know. I know we've talked about them being a Jekyll and Hyde team and not being a great team. They still want to win. Yeah. They want to save some face. They have good players too. That was so bad. So bad in the third period when you had done a lot of pretty good things to get that 3-1 lead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
What were you doing? What are you guys doing out there? The game doesn't end after the second period. It doesn't. There's 3 of them. You even had to play 2.5 minutes of overtime because you couldn't score. Anyway, I'm going to get to some text. We got Matt Kassian who's standing by. Benny's ready to pop off as well. I think a lot of people are very unimpressed with the Oilers' 4-3 overtime loss to the Rangers, blowing a 3-1 lead in the third period. Imran texting in says, didn't Leon say he wanted to win the Selke? What a joke. The Oilers won't win until they commit to playing defense. Great show, boys. Thank you, Imran. Yes, he did say that. Yeah. He did say he wanted to win a Selke. Guess what? He ain't winning. He ain't winning. I respect and admire him. I appreciate him. Get along great with him. He's a brilliant player. But not when you're doing that. You're not getting that Selke. You're not going to get a lot of votes doing that. That's for sure. Greg, the sound guy, texting in says, this team has zero work ethic. There is no standard with that group. Sure, they have talent, but unless you are willing to work, you aren't going anywhere. It's like they're trying to work smart, not hard. But the problem is they aren't smart. They keep getting hit by the same crap over and over again. That is their identity, a talented, lazy team. Also, when is the coach going to have a standard? He benched Nurse in a hurry last game. Did Bouchard miss a single shift today? Dude is the green jacket winner of the whole NHL. Sorry for the rant, boys, but I am pissed. That text coming in from Greg, the sound guy. This one from Eddie. Eddie says, Tommy, who's they? It's Skinner and Bouchard. It's frequently Skinner and Bouchard. Bouchard served up 2 goals to the Rangers. Skinner didn't make saves that Igor did for the Rangers. I didn't love the goals against Skinner. I didn't love the defense in front of Skinner. I thought there was a lot of breakdowns, and when you needed Stu to make a save tonight, he did not.
They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like there is. I don't know if you can blame Stu for the second goal. Like, I was kind of a 3-on-1 lost play. Nurse tries to clear it, and Schneider's there. But Stu didn't. I thought there was some saves where Stu was like, yeah, okay, good save, Stu. But for the most part, yeah, like it was a rough game for him. And
absolutely.
You could seriously pin 3 goals on Bouchard tonight. And I've stressed this, like to start the year, I have been a defender of Bouch to a lot of people. A lot of people say I'm biased amongst my friend group. So I defend him. He's been brutal to start this year. There's zero defense for him. Zero to start this year. It has been so bad. This might be a new low for Bouch. Like it is and I know he's
I don't know, Benny. Cass and I have had some long nights early seasons the last 2 years talking about him. Speak of the devil. Let's get him on because he's ready to go.
There's like those are 3 goals based like on him. He has a major role in letting that goal go in. Like it's crazy on a $10.5 million defenseman.
All right, we've got Matt Kassian, our game analyst, with us. Benny's a hot tamale tonight. I love it. A lot of people are pissed off. I'm going to read this one, Kassian. You were kind of smirking when you were listening to Benny there. Andy Pandy says, absolutely pathetic from our top boys. Draisaitl's worst game as an Oiler. I've already had enough of number 2. He's either expletive dumb, arrogant, or both. That text from Andy Pandy. Okay, Cass, the floor is yours. Go for it, pal.
Well, I'm not gonna go so far as to call him arrogant and dumb.
Andy Pandy did, okay?
I know. Reading. I'm not going to, and I'm not going to call Andy Pandy that either. I can understand the frustration. 3 goals, as you guys already said, clearly his fault. And I know there's some people frustrated with Draisaitl on that OT goal. I'm not. That's Bouchard.
Oh, boy.
That's Evan Bouchard on that one. You can see, Draisaitl realizes he's not going to get there. And so where he cuts back through the middle.
He's sweeping.
Say, hey, yes, but he's not going to get there.
Right.
He's not going to get there. Now he sees Evan Bouchard over his left shoulder, that blue coming. So he's thinking Bouch is going to come to strong side post, which is where Bouch should be going, right? Like let the goalie have the shooter on that side of the net. Don't let him cut back. Don't let him cut across. Like you get to that strong side post and you slam on the brakes. But I don't know, Bouch. And yes, Draisaitl does carry some because it's a bad read by him that Evan Bouchard isn't going over, but heavily on Bouchard in that one. You have the weak play up the wall. You have the blue line turnover. I mean, it was a no good, very bad day again for Evan Bouchard. Like just struggle city. Darnell Nurse had a good game though.
Yeah. He did. Totally redeemed us. I'm just kidding. He did have a good game though. A couple goals there. So, oh boy, I'm going to rattle off a bunch of texts are coming in. Let's go to Eddie out of Montreal. I love this. Eddie from Montreal, first-time caller, long-time listener. Prayers for Roslovic. Easily a 4-minute penalty. Heard he's in intensive care stitching it up. But is there a worse team in the world with a 2-goal lead? If there is, I would like to know. That's Eddie all the way from Montreal. We got these stats here tonight, guys, from Brian Swain. Let's chew on these. Swainer says, lots of stats tonight. This is the first time the Oilers have had 4 players score their first career goal in the same month since their inaugural month in October 1979. Only third time an Oiler has scored his first career goal against the Rangers. Other 2 were at MSG. Jarrett Stoll on Mike Dunham in 2003. Dylan Holloway on Shesterkin 2022. Oilers are now 5-5-2. 3-0-1 at home with an 11-7 lineup in the Knoblauch era, and the Oilers have given up the first goal in 8 of the last 9 games. So just a barrage of stats and a variety of different types of stats there when it comes to today. Cass, where is the engine? Where's the ticker on this team?
You're asking me to figure that out?
Yep, I am, because I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if they know. I mean, we saw a ticker against Utah.
Yes, it was 2 days ago.
It was there.
It was so good.
And it wasn't like the first 2 periods were horrible.
Yeah.
They weren't horrible.
They were good.
Right? Like they were good. They were solid. They weren't dominant. They were solid.
Yeah.
And then it fell apart.
Yeah.
With that being said, it wasn't solid for Evan Bouchard. Like he struggled all night. As a team, it was solid 40 minutes and then they fell apart. I don't know. And what's so hard, Tom, and this is what I fight against, and I'm sure lots of fans are fighting against it. You guys probably are too, is like we have seen them suck at the start of the season and play very, 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 very poorly. And then all of a sudden the switch flips and they turn it on. And so what's hard is it's like we get the little moments where all of a sudden it's like, oh, there it is. Now they're good. Oh, there it is. Now they're good. And then they're not. And that's what, well, not only is frustrating, it's like you don't have answers for, because it's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, why is Evan Bouchard struggling as much as he is? I can tell you what he's doing on the ice. He's forcing plays, making bad reads, and not. He's overthinking his plays. Like that's what he's doing, because it's not even like the 2 years ago Evan Bouchard where it's just like he made terrible reads and like just got beat by guys outworking him. Like it's not. He's not getting beat by guys outworking him. He's just making poor decisions. So it's really hard to try to be like, okay, how do I reconcile that with the Evan Bouchard that I saw in playoffs? Because I know what he's capable of. And you're just like waiting for him to wake up, and you're waiting for the entirety of the team to wake up for more than a period or two at a time, but it just hasn't happened. And guys, that's frustrating.
Eddie from Montreal says, I want a follow-up and reaction from the panel on the 2-goal lead situation. Why this team sucks with 2-goal leads.
It's the worst lead in hockey. 2-goal lead, worst lead in hockey. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's like, no, it's not. It's way better than a 1-goal lead.
They're way better, but they find ways to blow it.
They did find ways to blow it. I mean, in the third, you shouldn't. Right. In the last couple of years, the Oilers typically, when they've had a lead in the third period, have been pretty lights out. Like they have found ways to shut teams down and to shut the door and to really take risk out of their game. Didn't quite manage to do it today. They didn't quite manage to do it today. But you got to look at those 2 goals. And so, if we look at the first one, I'm just pulling it up here, so I have it again fresh in front of me, like the
85-foot cross ice across the blue line pass, and not even a hot pass, man. That was a Tom Gazzola softie.
It was limp.
Yeah, no heat,
no heat to it, and well, not even so. Goal number 2. I mean, same thing. You have a player that you end up with a 2-on-1. Mm-hmm. Right, you have a pinch that you really shouldn't, an all or nothing stand up,
really bad one
that turns into a 2-on-1, and it's like, what? You have a 2-goal lead. Like, you get, what's the best? The puck is outside of the blue line. You have players that fell and one that's on the crease in the offensive zone. What is the best thing that happens in that situation? If you get the puck in that situation, what is the best thing that happens? You have the puck right there and you have to wait for your team to get out of the zone. Mm-hmm. You're probably just chipping it in. Yeah. So extremely high risk, basically no reward play. So it's decisions like that where it's just like, that's 11 or 12 minutes, roughly 12 minutes to go in a hockey game where you're up 2 goals. This isn't like make a desperation play to try to create offense. Like, this is how about you back up and do your job and have a 2-on-2 and you're going to be okay because you have the first back checkers back if you're paying attention to what's going on in the zone. So plays like that just crush you. I mean, you can't do those when you're leading. You can't do those when you're leading. And then the Bouchard play up the wall. I mean, that's another one. And I couldn't tell. I don't know if you guys could see. I don't know if it hit the ref. Like the linesman? I'm not sure. No,
it got hit. Sherry's stick knocked it down.
Was it just Sherry's stick? Okay,
I think it didn't look like it was that hard either. I'm just an observation. It looked like a very casual outlet.
Yeah, it was. Well, and I couldn't tell if it was just Sherry's stick that hit it or if it went off the ref.
I'm going to watch it again here.
But regardless, it's the same sort of situation where you're like, okay, you're up a goal. There's 8 minutes left. And yes, going up the wall is what you want. And I know you're trying to make a soft play so you can pick it up and go on offense, but it's like, you have to get that by the guy.
Yeah.
You got to get it by the guy. And afterwards, part of the issue is he just stands straight up. So the turnover happens, the puck's outside of the blue line, and he just watches and he gets caught puck watching.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you have 2 guys flying in at full speed towards you and you're like, oh crap. And then it turns into another mini 2-on-1.
Yep.
And yes, Skinner should have that one. That if we're looking at one where like, which one do you really not like from Stuart Skinner? That's the one we really don't like from Stuart
don't like
Skinner.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't either. And, there is a stick in there. Like Ekholm's stick is in there, and that could mess with him a little bit. Sure, maybe. But regardless, don't like that one. So from Stuart Skinner's standpoint, you got to make that save. Should have never been that 2-on-1 in the first place. But guys, like those type of decisions in a tight hockey game. I mean, first with a 2-goal lead with 12 minutes left where you don't need another goal. And then when you have a 1-goal lead with 8 minutes left and you don't need another goal, you just can't have that happen.
Yeah. Wallman on the second one, Bouchard on the third one, Bouchard and Draisaitl on the game winner in OT. And then, as Cass said, Bouch didn't go to the strong side post, forced Miller. They just let him walk in, and then you couldn't get a save from Stu Skinner. I did watch the third goal, the equalizer from Radish there, Cass, and Sherry just knocked it down. Like it hit his stick. Yep. He made a nice little button hook and pass, and away they went. So there you go. Okay, Stu Skinner's coming under fire, you guys. seeing a lot of Skinner text coming in. So we're not, and we've said it. We didn't like the goals that he allowed, especially that Radish one. We were talking about that. So his stat line for tonight, 34 shots faced, 30 saves. That's an 882. I know people like to look at the save percentage a lot. I just didn't like a couple of those goals, regardless of the compounding errors that occurred in front of him. Where do we come out on Stu Skinner tonight, boys?
I thought he was fine until that third goal.
Yeah.
I thought he was fine until the third goal. I mean, it's one that crushes you. JT Miller never should have been able to walk in like that. That's a good player, given way too much space. You had 2-on-1. You know, you had more odd man rushes and you did okay. Mm-hmm. So he was average. I would actually say he was decent. He was decent up until he let that tying goal, and the tying goal was just not good.
Yeah.
That was a dagger. Good. That was a dagger.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
Benny?
Yeah. Like we talked about from the start of this year, how this Oilers team's strong suit has kind of weirdly been goaltending. And I think that some of those heroic goaltending performances are starting to die down, obviously. And you can't expect that throughout the whole year. You know who your goalies are. And to expect Stu to play like how he did against the Rangers the first time this year is simply just unrealistic. But yeah, I had no problems with Stu. Like Cass said, that third goal, you need to find a way to get a glove, a pat, something. Listen, I never played goalie. But it went through you. You saw the shot. It was there. There was no tip, nothing. You saw it. You got cleanly beat, and it was not a picked corner. It was right there for you to grab. Yeah. Disappointing. But for the people that want to blame just Stu tonight, trust me, there's a lot of blame to go around.
How about the power play? Start of the third period, Benny outlined that, and then into overtime, the end of third period into overtime. Don't know why it wasn't a 4-minute Cass. I don't know if you have a theory or an idea on that. Nope. He was clearly bleeding. right
when he got up, he's grabbing his lip, and I'm like, 4 minutes, nice. Yeah. And then the ref called 2 minutes. And I was like, what? I was like, maybe it was just like a little, just wipe away. Yeah. And then, but I was like, but it looked like there was a pretty good cut there. And then on the bench, and
TD's working on him, and there's blotches of blood on the towel or whatever.
How do you not? Unless the only thing is if there was a cut there before. If it was like an old scabbed up cut.
Yeah.
And maybe bumped it, but I don't know that. That's. I have no idea. That's the only way I could be like, okay, it was just 2 minutes, but it didn't look like it was like old scab. I don't know.
Look
fresh to me. Now maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was an old one. I don't know. That's the only way it would be a 2 minute. But even then, I don't know.
The power play. They're forcing, dusting it off, waiting. There was
three plays in a row, and it was McDavid and Draisaitl every single time where they tried to go cross crease to the back door to one another, and it was 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. And the first time, great, sure. Try it. It's going to make everyone think you're looking for it. You collapse in a little bit tighter. But then try something else first. To get that to open up, you have to move the puck. And sometimes it does, but it wasn't there. And they forced it 3 times. Yeah, it was, I don't know if it was just they felt the pressure that they had to win the game in that moment. And they just didn't deal well with the pressure. I don't know. But yeah, that power play was poor.
They've handled way higher stress situations.
Well, yeah.
Much, much better than game number 12 of the regular season on a Thursday night against the New York Rangers. And I don't know. Overthink. It seemed like we had our aha moment with this team on Tuesday. And then things were looking good. And then bam. Nope. Nothing learned. Let's go to CMAC texting in 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Oilers fall 4-3 in OT. CMAC says turnovers. So sick of the top guys and the damn turnovers at the blue line. Bouchard, McDavid, Draisaitl. Also lazy back checks from too many guys. Stu, make an expletive save on a breakaway. I know it's quote unquote about the playoffs, but this effort is BS. Go Jays. I'm going to bed. C-Mac with that one. He's had enough.
He's done.
Adam from Lloyd texting in says, he's talking about Trev doing something with AI. Eddie texting in says, Cass, there's way too much hockey knowledge on the panel not to place accountability where it's due. Other goalies give their team saves that Skinner does not give the Oil. Bouchard compounds and likely is the catalyst for the back end problems. But come on, guys, Skinner and Bouchard are frequently the problem. Please stop glazing this problem. I don't think we are tonight.
Did we
Eddie.
glaze that? Because I'm pretty sure I said Stu was okay, and then he has to make a save on that tying goal.
And did not.
Yeah. And we've ripped Bouchard fairly. So, I mean, blame where blame is due. Yeah, we said both those guys played a pretty significant part in this. So
I hope
glazing over it.
I hope and feel like we're dishing out the blame in a proper manner here. Like,
blaming everybody.
Like Wallman, bad pinch. Bouchard, like 3 terrible plays on 3 of the 4 goals. We threw Draisaitl on we wanted a save from Skinner, and you heard Cass say that Radish goal. Benny said that Radish goal. Adam said a new text in. Okay. Thank you. I'll read it. Sorry. You know what? Our text line's been a little bit wonky the last couple of days. Adam, I'll look for it. I apologize if that was an old one, because I know there's talk about Trev using AI to get girls to pick up girls. So clever, but not appropriate for this show. That's for the morning show. This one text in says you have to play the Bouchard scrum. Okay, we'll get to that. Benny, has it popped up yet?
No, it hasn't popped up yet, but we are. I'm tracking like a hawk right now.
All right, good man. All right, let's go to this one. Says, dude, how many more turnovers did Bouchard have tonight? Every night that didn't result in goals against. This guy is an enigma. Even when contributing offensively in the playoffs, he's still costing the team goals in the most important games, but gets the pass. How do guys call themselves legitimate hockey guys when this guy is so bad more often than not? Now, 20 mil in as bad as dead cap space between Nurse and 2, both unmovable. Expletive. Again, Nurse probably one of the better defensemen tonight for the Oilers in a weird twist of fate.
One of his best games in years, in my opinion. I mean, he was pretty solid in the regular season last year, and I'll give him credit for that. But like, the offensive side of Nurse came out in today, and I thought in his own zone was physical, was in the right spot majority of the time. I like, for a lot of blame that we're shifting around tonight, let's steer that away for one night from 25. Like 25 was very, very good tonight. I don't like the blame on him tonight. That would just be ridiculous. You're just going to old typical, just takes from past games. Tonight, Darnell was great. Zero problems with him. He was absolutely a positive tonight.
Crazy how you sit a guy for just a couple minutes, and all of a sudden,
message received.
Like a little frustrated, but not like whining frustrated, but like, I'm gonna go play frustrated. Like, I'm gonna earn it back. I'm gonna show you, and bounces back with that. So yeah, it was a really good game. If we're looking positives, that was a huge positive. Matt Savoy, local kid, getting his first. That's a big positive.
Benny probably knocked off some of the ceiling tiles on that
I was
goal.
pretty excited
Fist
too.
Pumped. Well, I didn't actually know he scored. I thought it was Henrique's goal. And then they showed the replay and him through the all that. Yeah, fired up for him. Good for him. That's first goal. He's deserved it. Like I said, like he's been right there. He's definitely deserved some points, probably more than what he has now. And happy to see him get his first today.
All right, you got Tom, Cass, and Benny with you right now on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Edmonton falls 4-3 in OT. The Oilers blow a 3-1 lead in the third period, and then also get a power play to start the third, and then a power play at the end of the third / into a good chunk of the overtime, and they can't do anything with it. Adam from Lloyd, your text came in. I got it. Thank you. Says, hey, boys, well, that game ended like a wet fart for the Oilers. Bouchard needs a night off to think about what he has done, go to the press box, and feel shame. I thought Shesterkin was having a bad night, but he made the big stops when he needed to. Stu, not so much. Shesterkin, 917 tonight. Stu, 882. And a kind of a tale of 2 different nights there for Stu. Like, looked good to start, Shesterkin, not so much. And then that script kind of flipped for those two. And then Adam from Lloyd adds, after the second, I thought the boys were out of this funk and we would be treated with the win. Little did I know they were just tricking us, and the top guys led the way from a 3-1 lead to a super uninspiring OT loss in which they started with a minute 20 of power play time, I might add. Conroe, Texas says, I get how Cass will tell us how Skinner wasn't at fault, but that does not pass the eye test. He never made one great save all night. We're not going to win a cup with this guy. Guys, Cass is knocking people.
It's the, you know what it is, guys. It's a resurgence of the Skinner scapegoat syndrome, which we've seen before. It's where the people cannot and will not. They choose to not hear anything, but there's something that's going to make them angry, unless it's like all only blaming Stuart Skinner. Like it has to, the 100% every single time has to be everything that happened. That 2-minute high sticking call, that's Stuart Skinner's fault.
What are you doing there, Stu?
You know what? He distracted the referee. He said something, and the referee was just like, I'm going to stick it to Stuart Skinner here. That's exactly what happened, you guys. Like, give your head a shake. We've been criticizing him, and we do all the time. Yes. And we'll continue to. Just freaking give it a break. Like, we call it like we see it. And Are we right all the time? No, we're going to make mistakes. Are you going to agree with us and everything? No, of course you're not. And I'm not going to agree with Tom with everything and Ben with everything. Like,
you don't?
Ouch. Most of the time, but no, not all the time. It's just the people like, oh, there's the last someone can't even remember who this was. And I know you don't actually talk like this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Like, oh, unless every sentence from the analyst ends with like, it's Skinner's fault. This is like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, are you kidding me? There's so much more out there. We blame him all the time. Give your head a shake. He was a big part of the problem because he let in a goal he shouldn't have.
Yes. Sorry, Cass. I didn't mean to trigger you with that.
No, it's not you. But it's the never Skinners.
Right. Yeah. I know. Like, a thing that always pops up is his save percentage, and I get it. I see it. And then we watch him, and he doesn't give you that big save. Didn't give you that big save tonight. Well, fully, wholeheartedly acknowledge it.
Save percentage into overtime. You know, it goes to 3-on-3. The Oilers had the chance. He was over 900.
Yeah.
No.
Right. He was over 900 heading into overtime. And yeah, they got a goal where you let JT Miller walk right in. Okay. Now I would wish they didn't get to overtime because he would have made a save and they would have kept the lead. As we talked about, don't give me that's where you have to use your brain. And you have to think about those things like shooting percentages to say that, there was one shot difference. And it happened in overtime in a 3-on-3 when they let a guy walk in across the net, full head of steam. Oh, by the way, it was arguably the best player for the New York Rangers. So
yep.
You gotta like, when you're thinking about these things, you have to actually think about them. You have to think about them, guys. Think about them.
No, just react. All rage, all emotion. No thought. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. All right. Do we have the Bouchard post game? Because
they haven't uploaded anything yet.
Okay.
I'm dying to hear it too.
I would love to, I'd love all three of us to be able to hear it and react together. I'll throw this at you, Cass, then even Betty, if you want to chime in too. If you're Chris Knoblauch and you go and you challenge your guys Tuesday night and he used the turnover stat that they had, that they keep eternally, and 16 turnovers in the first period, wake the F up, whatever he said. The message got across to them. There was a discussion in the room. The guys acknowledged that. And then they go out there, 5 goals against Utah, the hottest team in the NHL, and you carried it to the third period. You win that game. You feel good. You start this game. Like, if you're Chris Knoblauch and you see the reversal or the lack of intensity, what are you thinking? Because I feel like he probably thought he unlocked something in that first intermission on Tuesday.
I mean, it depends on how aggressively he unlocked or kind of went in to that last game, like in the first intermission. I don't know. Like it becomes difficult. And what's hard for me is because it's like you see a little bit of a benching for Darnell Nurse, and then all of a sudden Darnell Nurse plays way better.
Yeah.
As arguably, easily, I would even say his best game of the year. But you can't quite do that to McDavid and Draisaitl. You're probably not going to. And you don't do it to Evan Bouchard, who again was horrible. Now, some of that was the third period for Evan Bouchard, so it's not you didn't have an opportunity to do that. But you got to be scratching your head here to go like, okay, I thought we turned this around and figured this out, but we're just gonna, it was like 2 steps forward, now 2 steps back, right? And they're just kind of been in that mode for most of the season where it's like little step forward, big step back, 2 little steps forward, 2 little steps back. We finally had like 2 big steps forward with the second half of that Utah game. And then we just saw, I don't want to say it was like 2 full steps back, but it was like 1 3/4 steps back because they played a decent 40 minutes. So I don't know. Like it's hard to say, guys. Like what like let's say we had, we struggled here. Like me and Benny were just bad. And then we had a great show, and but before the show, you were just like basically told us to clean up our act. We got to get things together. Quit yelling and doing fan voices and making fun of them and the people that are deranged about Stuart Skinner. Don't make fun of them anymore. And like, what would you do, Tom? What would you say to us if it's like performance hadn't been very good? We finally we're on fire. Like, yeah, brought the heat, and then all of a sudden it was just like nothing again. Like, what would you do?
I would, like any Italian, would stare at you guys like this with my hands like, what are you guys doing? You guys figured it out. You did it 2 days ago. Why are you not doing it today? I would have this like disappointed, baffled reaction like 90% of Italians do. And then I'd walk away swearing and I'd give you another chance because I love you. That's how I would do it. But that's kind of unique. I think other people would throw stuff.
I don't know if Knoblauch's doing that, but
no, probably not.
Like, if this team got too comfortable in my eyes, that's all that happened here. Like the first 2 periods, like if the Oilers just play a similar period to how they did in the first or second, we're talking about another pretty solid win for the Oilers. And okay, maybe this team has turned a corner from the second period on after that Utah game, but instead they got comfortable. They fell asleep and they let what was some leaky defense in those first 2 periods take over the game. The Rangers burned the Oilers on the transition in that third period. Like just every turnover turned around. Rangers were all over them for it. They just got too comfortable. I genuinely think they sat there when like, all right, oh, we got this. Like, this is like the Rangers. They haven't been great this year. Look at us. We've put 4 pretty damn good periods together. Well, we should be able to ride this one home. They fell asleep at the wheel, I think, is what happened in that third period today.
All right, let's look at positives and silver linings. They got a point. Savoy gets his first. Nurse had a nice game. Did anybody else stand out in a positive? Roslovic, is he feeling it now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Great to see.
He looked better tonight too. Yeah. And that I will say 5-on-5, the Roslovic Draisaitl Podkolzin line, that line I liked. Yeah. I liked how they looked. That line looked really good. Looked pretty fast. I love the physicality from Podkolzin. Like I thought he brought it. And I thought 5-on-5, that line looked pretty good. Really liked that line. That's a big positive for me. We already talked about the Savoy. I like him getting his first. That's great. Yep. Another positive, but yeah, that might be it. Is like the Roslovic, Draisaitl, Podkolzin line looked a little something. I liked it.
All right, so the Oilers wrap up the month of October 5-4-3, and I mean they're only 2 points back of Vegas. Vegas has played 2 less games than them. We thought that this was a month where the Oilers had a real opportunity to take advantage of some perceived weaker opponents. It didn't happen. Overall, Cass, looking ahead to Saturday against the Blackhawks and everything that we saw this month, how would you sum up this month and how would you look ahead to Saturday against the Hawks?
Well, much like the record, it was an average month. I know they finished a little bit above 500. Good, I guess.
Kind of.
good, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just very average, very, very average. Like would have hoped. I would have been happy, if they would have won like 6-4, 7-3-1, 7 like in that range. Like if you would have ended up with like 7 or 8 wins, I think we would have been like, okay, that's really, really good.
Yep.
I think the potential should have been there for them to do it, but it just sagged. So yeah, it's just very, very average, guys. Very average. Like if they would have come out of that month and they would have been, I don't know, like even 7-4-1.
That's
like
not bad.
7-4-1. I think we all would have been like, all right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's not like being one game over 500 through the month of October. It's not like we're like, oh, they might not make the playoffs. Like, they're going to have to, like, it is a little bit of a hole to win the division. Yeah, a little bit, depending on how Vegas does. But it was very underwhelming. Maybe that's the best word for it. The month of October was an underwhelming month for the Edmonton Oilers.
They weren't hard-fought losses this month. It was, what are you guys doing? Why did you do that? What's wrong with you? Don't you know better? And Benny, I'll tell you this, and to those that are listening, last year and the year before, somebody called me out for this because they remembered. I said I would have traded Bouchard away for basically nothing. He was so bad. I think it was 2 seasons ago. And like I did say that. Like that's how poorly he was playing. So we have been through this with this guy. And it's super frustrating. And now that he has the big contract and he's making these terrible blunders, I get it. It's bad, but I have, and it's not lost on us, his poor starts in years past. So Cass, take a shot at Saturday against the Blackhawks.
Bouchard scores 4, Edmonton wins 5-4.
Slam some money on that one. I'm just kidding.
No, it should be. Should
Keyword.
Should be a very winnable game. I think Chicago is playing better than they are, and they do have some young pieces, but they're hanging around. They're a game over 500 currently as well. They managed to be decent. Listen, the Chicago Blackhawks right now, they're a tweener team to me from a roster makeup and from the type of team standpoint, where it's like they're still kind of in that rebuild. Like they're not threatening, in my opinion, or they shouldn't be, to be a wild card team yet and to push in the playoffs. Like they're still a year or two away from that. But they have enough young talent that they'll burn you if you just kind of go, here you go, and give players something along the blue line, or just kind of let them knock it down and give them 2-on-1s, or just give them a lane to skate straight to the net. Like you do those things, they got young talent that's going to burn you. So it all depends on who shows up. And if they show up for the full 60, what Evan Bouchard will we get? Will tonight be enough of an off night that he gets mad? Cracks a tooth on a Werther's, so like, I don't know. Like, is he gonna not just act out of frustration mad, but like actually go out and execute mad? I don't know. Like what? I don't know what we're going to see, because it's all over the place with this group.
You're getting so angry. I'm sorry. Okay. Go. Serenity now, Cass. Serenity now. Okay, buddy. Good stuff as always. I look forward to talking to you. You're in on Saturday, right?
I think so. I don't, you know what? It's just, I'm too bothered right now. I'm too bothered. I'm going to have to hang out for a little bit. Going to have to listen to Reid. Maybe he'll calm me down. The smooth sounds of Reid Wilkins.
He does that.
He does that. He has that effect.
Maybe calm me down a little bit. So.
I love it. Cass, great work as always. Yeah, his dulcet tones. Yeah, you're going to be okay. All right, Reid Wilkins, standing by. That is Matt Kassian, our game analyst. Great stuff from him. Bringing it. Lots of great texts to get to. I'm going to rattle off a few before we bring in Reid. And then I also need to get to the turning point of the game, brought to you by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 99-77. I'm going to go to the third period. Maybe it's not what everybody's thinking, but it should be pretty easy to figure out. 8:18 of the third, like Cass was talking about, like Betty was talking about, bad pinch. It was Jake Wallman who was putting together a pretty good game. He was in the neutral zone. He gets caught. Cooley takes it to the net. Braden Schneider buries the rebound. Urho Vakanainen, great name, gets the secondary assist. It cuts the Oilers' lead in half to 3-2. Then it would be Radish. This kind of led to the turn in the tide and the momentum swing. So that's why I'm calling it the turning point of the game. It's the Braden Schneider goal. Just some misreads, some bad pinches. It sums up a lot of the night. And yes, Bouchard had 3 terrible plays. And yes, you needed a save from Stu Skinner. And yes, Leon Draisaitl had a bad read on the game winner. But I'm going to say the turning point was that little bit of hope that the Rangers got when Schneider scored on the rebound. Nobody nobody picked them up on the back check too. Yeah. That's a problem. That's a problem, guys. So that's going to be your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Couple of texts before we bring Riedrich on. This one says, The Athletic rating the Oilers number 1D is comical. And then the BS that some were spewing about Stu's weight loss, also a joke. Yes, the defense, I said, was mediocre at best going into the season. I stand by that. I think they might need another veteran guy, right shot guy, hopefully, I think would be great, although those guys are coveted. We'll see what happens when Regula's back. He was on the ice today at the optional skate. So was Janmark. Janmark, nobody really knows. He's got something. It sounds like a shoulder injury there. And then Zach Hyman was on the ice as well. All right, I'm going to read this one, then we're going to get to Reid. This one says, I've been saying this for a bit now, but Tomaszek just doesn't have it. Yeah. He provides nothing to this team. Sitting a developed prospect in Philp over this guy is head-scratching to me. And then just one more I'll sneak in. Yeah. Incredible how low Nurse has dragged the bar. Was he better than usual tonight? Yes. Was he, quote-unquote, great? LOL, not even close. Just interesting how expectations drive the narrative. Goaltending hasn't been the issue this year. And then there's a deserve to win-o-meter. The Rangers at 84.8% to 15.2 for the Oil. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. We're going strong here. Reid Wilkins joining us now for Reid's Reid. Benny Thomson with us as well at the EST Global HQ. Reid's Reid brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Welcome, Riedrich. How was the locker room tonight?
Very short on words. They didn't have much to say. It's starting with Leon Draisaitl and then Darnell Nurse and then Evan Bouchard, other than that they turned the puck over too much, really. Uh-huh. And, I think that's a big part of it. Yeah, Leon was in one of his moods after the game. We've all seen that before, which is fine. That's his prerogative. Nurse was kind of just said same type of thing about the turnovers, and Bouchard, same type of thing. I mean, he did say on the one that led to the third goal that it hit a stick, but I still think he needed to make a firmer play there, like make a harder play to make sure you get it through the neutral zone. Clearly, the pass across the blue line was a foolish pass. He didn't say that, but that's my interpretation. And earlier in the game, Tom, you noted it. Like, he put a pass to a guy who was triple covered. Mm-hmm. Yep. It didn't lead to anything. But sometimes he's trying a pass, and you think, okay, it wasn't a great pass, but there was a guy there if the puck got through. That one, he was passing into numerous feet.
Hey, that one, Reid, just because I want to point it out, that one was McDavid was cutting towards, I think, Nugent Hopkins. There were 3 Rangers around them. McDavid was in a vulnerable spot because Bouchard was trying to pass it through his legs to Nugent Hopkins. And that's where I looked at you and I'm like, where was that going? Why was that going there? Anyway, sorry, just to clarify. Continue.
Yeah, and Knoblauch, was disappointed as well. He said it feels kind of like one step forward, two steps back. I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. And he kind of, I don't know if he was asked specifically about a turning point, but he said the power play at the start of the third period. Don't forget, the Oilers had a 3-1 lead and got on a power play 28 seconds into the third period. Like, that's a chance to basically put it out of reach, 4-1. And I think he said they gave up a couple of 2-on-1s off that power play and lost some momentum there. Mm-hmm. And then, the self-inflicted wounds. Like here we go again. And the Oilers are not mediocre this season. And 5-4-3 is a mediocre record. Like, that's not.
Yep.
Don't tell me that that's above 500. Like, it is technically, but that's not a good record.
Yeah,
that's not a good record. Extrapolate that over 82 games. It's not a playoff point total.
Right.
But the thing about this year's team so far is that their shortcomings are largely on the backs of their star players. This isn't Ty Ratty's on the second line. Mm-hmm. This isn't Jujhar Khaira's trying to kill a penalty with Ryan Strome. This isn't. Let's see what Jesse Joensuu can do. To throw back to one of our favorite players.
Great, Jesse Joensuu.
This is Bouchard. Now he did this early last season too, but this is Bouchard making turnovers.
Yep.
This is Nurse very up and down play.
Yep.
Until the last couple of games, this has been Ekholm not looking that with it. This has been Draisaitl very up and down. And quite frankly, it's been McDavid not being as explosive as he usually is. Even though he's still getting points, a lot of the things that he usually does to create offense aren't clicking. And then you also couple that with all of those players at times, not being great in their own end, not being responsible enough. And that's a big reason why they're losing. And yes, I've obviously had my questions about other parts of the lineup. You know what? Roslovic played quite well tonight.
Agreed.
Podkolzin played quite well tonight. I would agree that the bloom has quickly worn off Tomaszek after a good first couple of games.
Yes.
I would agree. I wouldn't mind seeing Noah Philp get back into the lineup because at least he's always trying to do the right thing and is at least trying to push the pace and has actually scored a couple of goals, which is more than you can say for some people. Mm-hmm. So, this is a really discouraging performance. Through 40 minutes, I thought they were decent. I wouldn't say they were great. But it's the old thing. Are games won or are they lost? And the Rangers are an interesting team because you look at the Rangers and you kind of look at their lineup and you say to yourselves, shouldn't they be better than they are? Shouldn't they be more explosive than they are? And now that I've seen them for a couple games, like, I don't know if they're that grindy a team on offense. Like, they don't really work for their chances.
Was it you that said they float a lot tonight? I
think Jim said it.
Matty said it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they don't really work for their chances. So the Oilers handed them chances and they were like, oh, here's a break that we can go maybe take advantage of without having to throw our bodies around and pay the price. And they scored off those. Mm-hmm. It's now, what are we at here? 5 games in a row for the Oilers where there's been a 2-goal lead in the third that has been blown or almost blown. Montreal, Seattle, the Oilers almost came back.
Yeah,
they did come back. Well, sorry, not in the third against Utah. The Oilers were down 2 in the second.
Yeah,
and came back and won the game. So maybe the Oilers got the tables turned on them. They probably stole 3 points in the last 4 games. If you look at Montreal and Vancouver, and tonight they gave 2 away. So yeah, they're not thorough enough. They're not firm enough. They're not committed enough. And then that further leads the question, are they outright talented enough in certain areas of the forward core? And I actually kind of don't. That's that one person wrote in, well, why did The Athletic rank them so high? I don't work for The Athletic. I don't know exactly what their methodology was, but I think, especially people who kind of cover the league as a whole and don't watch every second of every team, they're probably looking at the Oilers defense and saying Wallman's your 4 and Kulak's your 5, right?
Yeah.
Based on how they were ranked going into the season.
Yes.
So that actually looks pretty good. And I still think if if this defense core performs to a more intelligent level, shall we say.
That's a tough ask.
They are pretty good. I mean, Wallman's been pretty good, but he made a mistake on that second goal. Like once the shot is blocked, you can't pinch at the offside dot.
Yeah.
You got to get back and make it a 2-on-2. So like that. So bad decisions, bad plays with the puck. 3-on-3 is funny because there is a lot of room out there. But I think Knoblauch said there has to be better communication. Draisaitl kind of waves his stick at Miller. Okay. He's trying to steal it in the neutral zone, but McDavid's not getting back. Bouchard's too far off to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody, and yes, you'd love Stu to make a save there, but it's also, it's just like Jay Milne and I talk about when he was a safety at the U of A. If someone was behind him in the end zone, it's his man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether the defense was called for him to cover that man. So when JT Miller has a lane to the net, it's now somebody's problem.
You need to win that one-on-one battle.
That sooner, or Bouchard has to come over.
Yeah.
Like Bouchard said, well, I'm worried about the pass. Well, JT Miller's not going to pass it if he has a breakaway. Right? So you got to think in that situation.
That's critical, and it was a fail on Bouchard's part. Draisaitl didn't help the cause, and no, you did not get that save from Stu Skinner. Okay, Reid, should we listen to Bouchard's post-game or no?
Yeah, I guess he's probably the one people most want to hear from. I would say him and Knoblauch were probably the best tonight.
Okay, let's hear from Evan Bouchard, and we'll get some reaction following his availability after the loss tonight.
Hurting you guys again. Maybe just a thought. I know you had a few of them. Just a thought on the importance of figuring out a way to cut these out and what happened.
Cutting them out is definitely going to be big when one turnover happens. We got to not let it turn into 2, 3 in a row.
We've had, there've been a few games this year where this has been a theme for you, where just some turnovers that lead to goals against. I know it happens to everybody, but does it feel like it's happening a little more this year for you? And why do you think that might be?
Obviously it's happening a little more. Even that, second turnover that led to a goal, not really trying to make a play. It's off a stick and the back of our net. So that's definitely got to get cleaned up, but playing harder is going to have to be something that I do.
How did the overtime goal break down from your view?
Miller came in with speed. We switched a little late and in the net.
Were you thinking like pass Miller went all the way to the field?
That was my thought there. I guess I'd switched obviously too late.
I mean, everybody's seen when the games matter, that's when you play your best. Early in the year, sometimes it necessarily hasn't been there. Can you explain how, the most key times that, you can be one of the best guys and never make any mistakes, and then early in the year just seems to bite you a little bit more?
I don't know what you want me to tell you there. Game 11, those games 1 or 2, maybe those turnovers. Okay, game 11, that's not okay, so we're going to have to clean that up.
You're a confident player. You've done a lot of things in this league. Is that part of your game okay, or does that kind of get eroded a little bit after?
Obviously, your confidence is up and down. I think it is for every player. You just got to find a way to battle through it.
Maybe a thought on your power play night. You guys did have the opportunity in overtime. Did you that top unit? Were you wanting better looks than you got? You think?
Yeah, definitely 4-on-3, especially. We had one great look. That's not enough in minute 20.
Side note, Adam Henry, first guy ever to get a silver stick playing before the orders. I don't know if you've ever seen one up close or not. Just give me your thoughts on that accomplishment for him and the hardware he got.
Yeah, it's an amazing accomplishment. I've gotten to know Rico for a while now. It doesn't surprise me. He's played 1,000 the way he plays on the ice, teammate he is in the locker room. We're looking forward to many more with him.
Okay, there's Evan Bouchard. We got a text from Jason in Leduc saying, I would say Bouchard needs a night off, but the guy has been playing over 300 NHL games. He is as horrible defensively as he seems. What he needs is a ticket out of town or a new position. So obviously Jason and Leduc fired up. A lot of people feel the same way, like sit this guy. It won't happen. It will not happen. And it's frustrating. I know even those answers, Reid, I don't know if there's any answer he could have given that would have satisfied anybody, but
no, there isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been through this a lot, Tom, that, same thing with coaches, right? Like if a team loses, most fans won't be happy with what they say. I mean, Evan's not a great interview to begin with. He usually doesn't say a lot. So, I mean, Draisaitl was short answer tonight, as was Nurse. They know they gave the puck away.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them, So, actually, Nurse not as much tonight as other nights. But like they know what the problem is. I think Bouchard knows what the problem is, but he's also enabled to make plays and make passes like the one he did to Draisaitl in Vancouver. As I've said numerous times, and I know this just irritates people, that's who he is at this point. Like I've kind of, I don't want to say given up hope, but he is going to have, unfortunately, bad games.
Yeah.
Like his skill is outstanding for a defenseman, but why is he not considered as good as Makar or Hughes? Because of the mistakes. Those guys don't make I guess they skate better than Bouchard too, but you know what I mean? Like there's the plus side of the ledger for Bouchard is as high or almost as high as the other 2 or 3 top end offensive defensemen in the league, but his mistakes are outrageously bad at times. I don't know if it's going to go away. I don't know if it'll ever go away. I mean, unfortunately, some people are just wired that way. So I know that's not what people want to hear, but I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I've watched every game he's played, just like a lot of people tuning in.
Yep.
And I'd love it if it seemed like he learned a little more or played with a little more intensity, or at least appeared to have a little more intensity when things are going wrong. But it just doesn't appear to be there. It'd be amazing if he got sat out for a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if any coach is going to do that at that point in his career with the way it is with athletes now. But yeah, I mean, a couple of major mistakes tonight. I mean, and here's the funny thing. A scout asked me about this. He showed me the stat sheet after the first intermission, and he said, how come Bouchard isn't credited, quote unquote, with a giveaway on the Brodzinski goal? And I said, because the NHL does not balance giveaways and takeaways. They look at a situation of the puck changing possession and decide whether it was a giveaway or a takeaway.
Yeah.
Was it more the puck being, was it more the play being blown by the offensive team, or the defensive player making a good play? So the NHL stats guys ruled Brodzinski made a great play to take the puck away. So
that's a takeaway and not a giveaway.
And not a giveaway. It should be both. Like it should go one each way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I get everybody's frustration with Bouchard. I mean, beyond saying I'm here to listen, like I'm a safe, like this is what I say, and I you guys as well, like I'm a safe person to get mad at. So you don't yell at your dog or your brother or sister.
Don't yell at your dog
or your partner, or go to work tomorrow and are miserable about your coworkers. I'm a safe person to receive all your anger.
Yeah.
About Bouchard. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean I can change that player's performance. I see it as well. And then let's face it, guys, they blew it on the power play.
100%.
Again, could have put it away in the third period. Early in the third period, could have scored on a minute 24 on 3. Didn't really get a good look, and that's another thing to the McDavid stuff. He's not making the plays that he usually makes. I think he's distracted by not being distracted by his contract. So
I see what you did there. Shanked one, by the way, since you brought that up, this ties in nicely. Shanked one says, guys, how many of McDavid's passes hit the opposition's skates? Yep. McDavid still doesn't want to shoot when he should. Isn't OT man on man? Not sure what Draisaitl was doing on the winner. Bouch can usually get away with making mistakes, but he would score enough to overcome it. Not this year. Signed, Shanked one.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then there's been a few texts about Trent Frederick, and I'll just say this: you had a funny thing today where Frederick, I think it was the second period. You're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, there he is, I guess. So I just want to acknowledge people texting in about Trent Frederick. Benny, you want to hop on anything before we get Reid's thoughts going into Saturday?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Reid, to me, this team lives and dies by its top players. I've been saying that all year. And Connor, Leon, Nurse, Bouch all had really bad starts this year. Now, some of that play has changed. I think Dry has turned around his game a little bit outside of, I think, his third period in overtime today. In the first two periods, I thought his line was, again, driving play. But Connor just does not look like himself right now. Bouch, obviously, we've talked for basically an hour straight about Bouchard.
Rightly so.
Yeah, exactly. Rightfully so. But this team's going to live and die by its top players, and it's going to be up to the top players to bring the rest of the team in the fight. And honestly, I think some of their depth guys are actually outperforming their top guys right now. It's the top guys that are letting this team down, and that's where the Oilers stand right now. That's why they are not above 500, according to Reid Wilkins.
Liquid Theory, before we get to a look ahead to Saturday's game against Chicago, Liquid Theory via the Nasty Chat says, did Reid talk about the 2 minutes for a bleeding high stick? Was there any discussion?
Knoblauch answered a question about it.
What'd he say?
He said that the NHL, that the refs acknowledged that there was blood, but they don't want to call a double minor unless there's a significant amount of blood or like noticeable blood. And then Knoblauch was asked, was that rule changed this year? And Knoblauch said, I don't know when they changed it, but he said that's the rule. There was blood, but they didn't feel it was like a significant enough cut. I know that sounds absurd, guys. That's what he said.
Yeah, no, I understand
the rule, man.
I understand where Knoblauch's coming from, but like we heard nothing about any unless it slid under the radar. But isn't it supposed to be if blood is drawn, it automatically becomes a double minor? That's my last.
I can look in the rule book. I don't have that one almost memorized.
I gave you a rule book. Where did I put? I have one somewhere here.
Where is it?
I have one right here. Yeah. I have the 2014 or 2025-26 rule book.
You gave me a copy of 50 Shades Darker, not the rule book.
Well, I do that. I'm a dirty 40-year-old man. Okay, minor penalties. Double minor penalties, Rule 18. Let's go to page 29 here. I'm digging up the damn rule book for everybody because I don't know. Okay, double minor shorthanded infractions. Where would high sticking be in this? Reid, you've read this through like many times, haven't you?
Sadly enough, I have read it.
Okay.
Not all in one
Talk
sitting.
amongst yourselves while I figure this out. Go ahead, Benny. Benny, give us the Damon Bunting player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Check him out, community driven. He's been doing it in the city for over 18 years. DamonBunting.ca or Damon Bunting Real Estate on Instagram. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to look this up. I'm getting annoyed by this now.
Today's player of the game, a guy that responded to what we think probably Bouchard deserves. And that's a deduction in ice time. Last game, Darnell Nurse got sat for the start of the second period, I believe. Start of second period, first 6 minutes of it. He responded with a very good game tonight. 2 goals. Even just outside of the goals, was physical, up in the rush. Not too many mistakes for him tonight. Used his feet very well today. So, I mean, he gets second star tonight, but there wasn't really anyone on the Rangers that blew me away today. Like Reid was saying, they kind of just floated and got their chances when the Oilers gave it to them. And so no one really stood out to me for the Rangers. Darnell Nurse to me was by far the shining light in a dark game that ended up being today. So Darnell Nurse, player of the game today.
Tom, did you find it?
I found it. Player of the game brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate, consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. I know I try to rattle through the liner, but I'm going to give it its proper due diligence. I have found it. Section 8, 60.3, double minor penalty. This is stick infractions. page 92 of the 25-26 NHL rulebook. When a player makes contact with his stick on an opponent's neck, face, or head, in parentheses, above the height of the opponent's waist, so that injury results in the manner of drawing blood or otherwise, the referee shall assess a double minor penalty. Referees making this call shall have the option, but not the obligation, to review the play for the purpose of confirming or rescinding their original call on the ice, and in particular, whether the stick causing the apparent injury was actually the stick of the player being penalized. Such reviews will be conducted exclusively by the referees on the ice in consultation with other on-ice officials. Communication between the situation room and the referees shall include the former referee and game logger in the situation room to ensure the referees are receiving any and all video they might request, as well as the appropriate replay angles they may need to review the penalty. There shall be no other consultation between the referees and the NHL situation room or with any other non-game participant. So basically, the last half of that is irrelevant to that play.
Yes.
So the injury results in the manner of drawing blood or otherwise, the referee shall assess a double minor penalty. So by the rules of the damn rule book for this season, that's a 4-minute penalty, not subjective.
And there's
I don't know. I'm not mad. I'm just reading the damn rule book.
And there's an appendix here where it says, because they say causing injury, and then it says blood does not have to be visible to consider it an injury. Blood flowing is not the only determining factor. For example, an injury caused by a high stick to the face could have one of the following characteristics: severe bruising, abrasions, a welt, cutting of the skin, or damage to the teeth by the high stick. So the rule book, as we're reading it, actually makes it sound like it's quite easy to get a double minor call.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas what I guess we saw, and I didn't get a good look at how much blood there was.
There was enough. There was blood. TD Forrest was working on Roslovic's lip, and there were like little blotches. There was enough blotches of blood. You could see it from 50, 60 feet away. Like it was
I don't know.
Pretty
I don't know what to tell anybody.
Anyway, I mean, their power play was garbage, but
yes,
it should have been a 4-minute.
Probably
by this book that has the rules of the league.
Yeah.
All right, Reid, Chicago, quickly.
Yeah, well, I mean, the team that hasn't been good for a few years. I think they are okay this year. Where are they now? Let me double check
in
the standings.
Spot, last I saw.
Yeah, because they were similar to the Oilers record wise, right?
Yep.
So, So, look, it's the best players got to play better for the Oilers. They have to cut down the turnovers, and then if they're going to win, some of the guys who are playing well but aren't the best players have to score. Podkolzin needs to paw one, or Roslovic needs to paw one who is close to it, or they need to get a goal from somebody like that. And obviously they need the stops. And, Skinner's last 2 or 3 games haven't been as encouraging as the ones he had to start the season. I'm going to assume he plays again on Saturday, and then it's Pickard Monday and Skinner Tuesday. That's what I would do anyway, because I think I'd like to see them keep rolling with Skinner and see how he does. But yeah, I mean, 12 games in, they've played really well for maybe, 7 or 8 periods out of the 36 they've played. It hasn't been that great. So we'll see if they are saying enough is enough again after this game, like they said after the first period a couple days ago.
Riedrich, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I look forward to playing you a game of double bubble. What was it, bubble?
Oh, puzzle bubble.
Puzzle bubble. That was an intense matchup that you and I shared yesterday. I look forward to getting some redemption.
Okay, everybody have a good night. Sun's coming up tomorrow, everybody.
There you go. There's Reid Wilkins. Catch him on the Reid Wilkins Show from 3 to 6, Monday to Friday, right here on EST. Casino Dealer Jay was saying something about gray area, I guess. Kind of blood isn't included in the rule. It is specifically written in the rule book that blood equals a double minor.
Well,
I see what James said. If there's blood, it can't be really cut and dry, Tommy. Ever think about that? All right, Prince of Pun. Well played. But anyway, I found it in the rule. Anyway, regardless, that should have been a double minor. The Oilers' power play were not very good. who knows if they would have taken advantage of the extra 2 minutes, but it should have been a double minor. I want to get to one more, Benny.
Okay.
It's from Eddie. Says, what are your thoughts on Ingram? Send one of Skinner or Pickard to Bakersfield. Bring up Ingram at this point. How much worse could it be? Keith Gretzky was there tonight. Somebody was asking about Ingram. I think there's plans on visiting Bakersfield from some of our media and hopefully talking to him. And sounds like he's going to still be down there unless something drastic happens where they decide to call him up. But I don't foresee that happening. And doesn't sound like he's too reluctant to speak. Or I don't that he's too eager to speak and a little bit reluctant, I should say. So, I mean, this is my observation from discussions with Keith. I think the plan is for him to still be down there for a little while.
That's fair. You're 11 games in. You're 11 games in. I think we're pulling the plug a little too early, especially when the talk, I think 7 or 8 games into the season was this Oilers goaltending might be the only thing going for them right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I understand things can change quick. 4 games later, there's no way I think we're willing to waive. We're willing to see the Oilers waive Pickard or Skinner to bring up Ingram. Yeah, it doesn't make sense as of right now. At this current point.
All right, that's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. A spicy one. A very spicy one. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I had to even bust out the rule book. Good thing I keep it on the shelf behind me in the EST Satellite Studios. A lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who watched, listened. Huge audience tonight on YouTube. That's fantastic. Always a big audience on the listener side of things. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, and on the podcast the next day. We appreciate that so very much. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. The Oilers blow a 3-1 lead. They end up losing 4-3 to the Rangers. Pick up a point, and we're going to look ahead to November, starting with the Chicago Blackhawks. Saturday night, 8 o'clock start. We get going at 7 with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. For Matt Kassian, for Reid Wilkins, and Benny Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have yourselves a wonderful night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now.